Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks bringing you the Daily SPY Report for Thursday, February 17th, 2022. Before we look at the charts, I just want to encourage you, as usual, to please click like each and every time you watch the Daily SPY Report or any content that's been uploaded to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel from wickedstocks.com. I sincerely appreciate it. It helps us a great deal in being found on YouTube. Also subscribe. Subscribing to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel will provide you notification each and every time new content has been uploaded to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel, and that will help you in seeing the material when it's relevant, fresh, and ready to use for the day. Anyway, let's jump to the charts. I'll start with this daily chart. I want to emphasize that the 443.40 channel bottom, and we've been trading both sides of it, but we gapped back above it on Tuesday. Wednesday, yes, we slipped through it, but it held. And not only did it hold, but after testing it, we rallied to settle higher beyond Tuesday's high. So it's an outside day. We closed above the preceding day's high. That's usually a sign of at least stability, if not strength, short term. So that's been upgraded to a session containment level, able to contain daily selling pressures. Upside, the only proper way to show this is showing the whole picture, really. The 447.41 long-term channel bottom has been severely demoted to an intraday resistance only, but I thought I would show it anyway. We've traded both sides of it. It's held nicely. It held roughly, actually, on Wednesday. And we backed off to settle below it. We did push through it a bit, but it is only an intraday resistance area. And if we push through it, well, let me back up a little bit and just mention while we're looking at this chart that 460.24. I need to mention that I've sort of, I'm not disregarding it, but I'm no longer considering it a significant upside pivot point into. And here it is. It's a better view of it. Into March trade. I've been mentioning that this is an area that can contain buying through March, and from there we can fall off. And if we settle above 460.24, then we probably have a good Q1 low and into Q2. All that may be true, but you're always sort of subjectively resizing things up and taking a look at what was true 2 weeks ago is not necessarily true today. And what I mean by that is, for instance, this is just one example, how the high settlement prices on all these pullbacks, two of them, you got a double top up there, we're in the 457 handle. 457.54 is the high. So, if we push through 457.54, for instance, test 460.24, back off modestly, even if we close above 457.54, there's reason to consider bullish continuation beyond 460.24 in the days to follow. In fact, I'm resting more on these two structures right now as our ceiling really into, if not through March. Now, 450.64, I'm putting that out there because it's really more of a two-star resistance, a short-term descending channel top, able to contain buying through the rest of the week into early next. From there, we could fall off, even if we did close above 450.64, or perhaps push above 450.64 on an intraday basis. 455.23 is the next quick target, perhaps on an intraday basis. And that formation is the one now that can contain buying into possibly through March. And from there, we can fall off. Now, there's no clear sell signal right now at play for the SPY from what I can see. Obviously, the behavior we've seen, all these rotations we've had since the low was put in January does speak of a more consolidative framework, but I will say that holding below 455.23 will keep the market subject to, selling pressures, emergent selling pressures as we continue into March trade. So I guess what I'm saying is, if I were to buy this market, it would be either a retest of that January low around 420.76, not labeled here, but the January low is 420.76. I'd either be buying that low area or I would buy the settlement above 455.23. If you're the 2 to 3 week time frame trader, or if you're, if your time frame is even further out, I'd say you're sort of picking bottoms. A much lower price activity right now, or you're buying a settlement above 455.23. But even that is just a 2 to 3 week time frame. This is really the way it looks 455.23, the descending channel top, able to contain buying through March, and below which we can fall back to 420.76 within 2 to 3 weeks perhaps, and possibly to that 402.23 long-term channel bottom. By the end of March, sure, quite possible. I need to say a word about crude oil. I'm not showing the chart today, but it's been a pretty wild market, and while we did push through significant resistance on an intra-week basis, even closed above it on Monday by a 1% margin, we've backed off significantly. Wednesday was a wild ride. $95 a barrel was the high, and we settled in the 91 handle, clearly below the long-term ceiling at 92.98. I would ask you to watch Monday's Daily SPY if you haven't already, and I show that chart there, that if we close West Texas Intermediate crude March contract on Friday at 93.91 or higher, which is a 1% violation of the long-term line study at 92.98, then we should see $115 a barrel over the next few months. But until then, this is a significant zone of resistance that can contain longer-term buying pressures for the crude market. And if crude begins to fall off from here, from present price levels, and it very well may, then you'll get that settlement above 455.23. Let's take a look at the support and resistance for today. I've got the 443.40 below. I showed that in the first slide. That is that short-term channel bottom, can contain session weakness. 447.41 is that former long-term channel bottom that we actually pushed through a bit on Wednesday. If we push through it again or open above it on Thursday, we could actually test that 450.64 short-term channel top, which you could also call the start of a range of meaningful resistance up to 455.23. But for day traders, you can have at each of those levels. But if you're more of a kind of a 2 to 3 week position trader, that could be a range that you scale into a short position, whatever that means to you. I will say that if we close above 455.23, we have a 2 to 3 week buy signal with the relatively contained volatility, 2 to 3 weeks. With heightened volatility, it could be a matter of 3 to 5 days perhaps. But closing above 455.23, I think, is the sign that we're not likely to fall back into the low 400 area in the next 3 to 5 weeks. And that within 2 to 3 weeks we reach 468.81. Now, the upside, the way the technical structure is looking to me, and I do like to swing for the fences. I like to put out longer term signals that have meaning and significance, and that there's a distance between the buy signal and the target. But right now, it's just not playing out that way. If we close above 455.23, we have a 2 to 3 week buy signal to 468.81. And that formation is one that could contain monthly buying pressures as well. So it's very stair-step right now. It's very difficult, at least from what I'm seeing, to predict, let's say 500 even, which is a long-term trend line that I've talked about a lot, since October, November, that we've tested. I was at one point saying that if we close, for instance, above 455.23, we can expect 500 over the following couple of months, and I'm off that now. It really is more of a stair-step approach. We could fail at 455.23 through March, and then we could close above 455.23. Then we have a 2 to 3 week buy signal up to 468.81 where we could top out through March. And if we close above 468.81, then yes, 500 even becomes a realistic 3 to 5 week objective. So it's very stair-step on the way up. I think it's very well suited for 2 to 3 week position traders. But for those of you who like to trade 2 to 3 months out with longer term positions, I don't see an opportunity up in this area unless you're playing the short side at 455.23, because we could fall back actually into the low 400s. Let's take a look at the downside here. If we close today below 443.40, we should test tomorrow that 435.03 downside Fibonacci level that we actually came very close to testing on Monday. Obviously, it's held the lows of the week. At the time, I was calling it an intraday support, and now I'm calling it a daily support. If we close today below 443.40, 435.03 expected tomorrow. And then if we close below 435.03, 420.76 within 3 to 5 days, that is very stair-step as well on the way down. But I will just remind you that holding below the 455.23 formation will keep that 420.76 low in reach over the next few weeks, and over the next month or two, we could fall all the way back into the 402.23 to 404.83 area, although I don't see a real clear indication of that unless we close below 420.76. So I've thrown a lot at you. I appreciate you sticking with this. I hope this all made sense. I'm going to leave you with the support and resistance today so you can print it off your smartphone or your desktop. I don't think there's anything else to add. I've said it all. We have new resistance. I guess I'm adding that where there's new resistance, really. Breakout resistance, 455.23, that descending channel top. Holding below it does allow the market to grow tired into March and fall off, and closing above it would indicate the upper 460s pretty quickly within about 2 to 3 weeks. And that is all I've got for Thursday's Daily SPY Report. I'll be back tomorrow for Friday's Daily SPY. Thanks for watching. Please click like, and we will talk soon. The daily video you just watched will require a paid subscription to WickedStocks.com beginning Tuesday, March 1st. Become a WickedStocks.com premium member to continue receiving our daily SPY report, our daily Triple Q report, our weekly DIA, IWM, and Bitcoin reports. Monthly subscriptions start at $25 a month. If you're not ready to become a premium member, I encourage you to become a basic member for free, which will alert you once these analysis videos become part of our paid subscription plan on March 1st. We will continue to offer free and valuable content on YouTube, though it will not include the series of videos mentioned earlier. We hope you become a WickedStocks.com premium member. We offer a 7-day free trial, and cancellation is allowed at any time.